Hey, what's up, dudes? Frank. Uh, I need Eric on here. Eric, where are you? Is he on here? Ow, dude, I dicked up my shoulder bad yesterday. Uh, I was we got a 1 year old's birthday party, um, and my daughter coming up next week. So we needed to do some yard work. I uh, I don't know about where y'all live, but we have this big issue around us with vines. Eric, just the guy I'm looking for. Uh, oh, but anyway, I was doing yard work yesterday, pulling vines out of trees, and I ripped my shoulder to pieces. Uh, so uh, it feels okay unless I do some weird movements. Like I leaned over to pick something off the floor, and it was like a knife. Uh, all right, Eric. So you sent me this box with baits in it, and your package um, and I have the other guy's package. The thing about it is, one, two, three, four. You have five of the colors he wants in your package. So those are those are those don't count. So I guess you just keep those, right? Or do you give them to him? And I just paint his all the same way. Yeah. So you wanted me to paint the secret color, and you've already got it. Oh, how funny is that? How funny is that? Brennan, South Jersey, what's up? Jeremy? Uh, yeah. All right. So I thought that was amusing. Uh, I'll just take those out. Do you want to do something else on the? I guess it'll only be. I guess I could paint the extra one. Uh, the other color. All right. I gotta take the rings off of these guys. Rich, I have not received your package. I don't believe. I'm pretty sure I haven't. Eric, uh, what's the reward? Ow. Oh, it's kind of clickbaity. But I've had the same pair of mechanics gloves since college. And I decided because I didn't have any other gloves yesterday and I was pulling down these vines out of the yard, I mean, out of the trees, I would put those mechanics gloves on because they were like full of briars and shit. So I strapped these mechanics gloves on. And after 6 hours of pulling briars out of trees and bushes, the palms were shredded to the point where my fingers wouldn't even stay in them. They were like the whole inside was gone. Um, uh, so I think I'm due to buy myself a pair of gloves. as stupid as it sounds, I'm kind of excited. If I can get some Tamiya paints, what colors would you want? I don't know. I would have to look at them. I'm not well versed in Tamiya's color catalog. Um, I do buy some paint from Japan. That's really good. Uh, and if you're curious, all these like custom painters out of Japan, besides being exceedingly talented, the paint they use is incredible. Uh, and it comes like that, like a lot of it's at like Mr. Hobby stuff and like all this little small, like ounce, 2 ounces of paint. That stuff is incredible. Uh, like all the pigments on it are super clean. All the pearls, all the flake, all everything in there, like is insane smooth. Uh, so it was funny the first time I ever used any of that stuff. I I put some in my gun and I sprayed it, and I like felt how it laid down and like saw how it looked, and I was like, no wonder these dudes shit looks awesome. It's like the stuff we look at with the stuff we're spraying over here is garbage. Uh, yeah, that's the thing about it is like it's. I think that's what the difference is like that paint, the manufacturers don't skip on the pigment, so it's heavily pigmented, and you can thin it down pretty good and you still get good coverage, without having like shitty pigment or not much, and then if you water it down, you're basically just spraying thinner. um, so they're yeah, their paint they've got, it's legit. It is legit. Eric, did you take all the hooks off and leave the split rings off? Because that was a real dick move. Or was it somebody else? Eric, who's the asshole that went to the trouble of taking the hooks off and leaving the rings? Mark Edwards? How is it? Not you. I will say these paint jobs are pretty nice on here. The Bleeding series. Eric done it just to piss me off. Probably. Probably. So I have to sit up here on a Sunday and peel down split rings off of shitty old Strike Kings. Two. This looks like a good tilapia color. Uh, Travis, did you find them on clearance for like $1.97 or something? That's what they had at my store. There was only one color, and they were $1.97. That was the. I would like to talk to Travis. Have you ever heard, or Jeremy? Have y'all ever? Jeremy, this is the non-XD version. 397. That's pretty good. Is that what I paid for them? Not two. I thought I paid $2 for them. Whatever I did, whatever I got them for was super cheap. I think it was two. What do you mean two? 10 Wonka balls. All right. I gotta pee. Multiple colors. I'd like to know, Travis, I know Mr. Castledine said he was going to go into this one day, but I'd like to hear his opinion on the Swank versus the Bubba, because I know there are differences. I think the Swank gets a little deeper. Maybe the rattle sounds a little different, and whatever. But I'd like to know. I know those Bubba users get a little snobby when it comes to that bait. But I'd like to hear it from the horse's mouth. I don't think he ever touched on that. I am too, Travis. I was thinking about that. I think you really shit the bed on the members only thing. Like, I don't really give a shit about the other videos. I'll watch them, but it gets confusing. You know what I mean? Like when he's got a 10-part series, and then he throws you like an extra one. It's like, dude, I watched that like a month ago. I don't know what context this has. You know what I mean? Like, I don't pick up exactly where we left off, and it's like, oh, this is like fresh on my mind. I can't even. I'm kind of. I don't even know what tournament it is half the time. I'm like, oh, it's that same one. Although informative, it takes some. Oh, where did that go? I can't bend over because my shoulder hurts. My shoulder is shredded. Yes. Very true, Travis. Very true. He does that. Derek, Corey, Chris, everybody, what y'all up to on this glorious Sunday evening? Damn it. I've been parent fail. The Bean has picked up a word from her parents. We were in the kitchen this morning, and I was making her a pancake, and the butter was on the counter, and she was like, I want to bring my chair over there. I want to eat my pancake over there. And the only reason she wanted to eat the pancake over there on the counter was because the butter was over there and she wanted to stick her finger in it. And I was like, listen, you're not pulling one over on me. I know you want the butter. And she was like, no. And so I made her a pancake, and she wanted to eat it with chopsticks. So I was like, all right. So we dug out the like training wheel chopsticks, got those out, and she had them, and we were sitting right there by the sink, and she was we were playing with the chopsticks. She was trying to eat her thing with the chopsticks, and she dropped them in the sink, and she looked over in the sink and went, damn it, but in a 3-year-old's voice. She said, damn it, Dad, I dropped my chopsticks. She can't say chopsticks. She says chopsticks. And I said, you drop your chopsticks? And she said, yeah. I said, what'd you say before that? She said, damn it. So it's like maybe don't say that. Maybe don't use that word. It's like I don't think that's a nice word. But it's not the first time she's said it either. But it's becoming more regular, so I just don't want her to say it at school. I mean, I don't really mind listening to her say it because it's friggin' hilarious. But oh, she definitely uses it in the proper context. Her vocabulary is pretty mind-boggling. Uh, like the stuff she knows that you would have no idea she knew about. Like my mother-in-law was over there yesterday playing with her, and there was this little plastic trophy that came with like the Barbie set, and my mother-in-law didn't think she would know what a trophy was, so she called it a cup, and she said, "No, Jiggy, it's a trophy." She's like, "Oh, well, I didn't know you know what a trophy was." And she's like, "Yes, you get them when you win." Okay, well, trophy. Chop dicks. Don't be a chop dick. Don't be a chop dick. Dennis the Menace. What's going on in Vegas today? Do I get a lot of rain? Lake Mead full? Speaking of, what's the new bait, Dennis? What are you calling it? It's a good thing she doesn't have an older sister. My 3-year-old is way farther ahead than when her sister was 3. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the little mouse does. She's learning quick. Hollow Body. Have y'all seen the new Huddleston Hollow Body? It's pretty sweet looking. When did that release, Dennis? A couple days ago? Sold out, I'm sure. Daniel, what's up, dude? You not out on the Deep Highland impoundment today? Come on. Striking is a real interesting clear coat. I'd like to know what all these manufacturers use. As far as clear coat, like what brand clear coats do they sell in China? I'm sure PPG and all the like big manufacturers are over there, but I don't know if these Chinese companies are going name brand. Elmer's glue, probably. I know that's what their eyeballs are made out of. I guess these are Costa Rican, not China. But I'd like to know what they spray over there. Couple days going to release more tomorrow at 9 a.m. in MD Pearl. If you don't know what MD Pearl is, I don't have one over here. But you know what color it is. I've heard of, but not seen it in person. Just seemed like it needs more than a 3/4 ounce 12-volt beast to really keep it on the bottom. Dennis can tell you. Uh, Dennis, does it need more than a 3/4 ounce 12-volt beast to keep it on the bottom? Uh, 8-year-olds on the D's nuts jokes. MD Pearl. It's not Mighty Dick, it's Massive Dick. Or Micro Dick, I'm not sure. What's it stand for, Dennis? What does MD stand for? Micro Dick or Mega Dick? Or are we way off? Micro. Definitely Micro Dick. I have heard a few people name stuff for that shit like that, like something special or so and so was, you know, juice or whatever, and like whatever the initials are, you would never guess, and they're like not uh, nice. Micro Dick Pearl, gotta have them. All right. Split rings are off. Let me take these off. Excuse me, I'm wrong. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. 4, 5. All right. Wow, dude, this nagging shoulder is not cool. Does that mean I'm getting old? All right, Jeremy. 12-volt beast is too big. 8 to 10 is the best weighted or unweighted hook. MD Pearl means mag draft. There you go. Not micro dick. I like micro dick. I wouldn't tell people it meant mag draft. The dick spoons. Camo blazer. That's right. Just got back from a wedding. It's what we wear down here to weddings. Got a DT10 and girlfriend to paint over this week. What does that mean? Am I supposed to? Yeah, they're the Bloody series, Travis. So I'm guessing these are pretty old. Old enough. I don't know. I was watching a video, a YouTube video. Do y'all watch The Guitarologist? Probably not, if unless you play the guitar. But he's on the naughty list because occasionally he'll talk politics, and he gets flagged and people bitch about it or whatever. But I don't really care either way what he wants to talk about. I just like listening to him talk about his music stuff. Um, but he was reviewing something. Or he wasn't reviewing something. He was kind of watching videos. I guess it was kind of like a review. And it was his last shit post Friday or whatever it is. If you like guitars, you should watch that shit post Friday. It's friggin' hilarious. I don't know, why is everybody getting reviewed? Wow. Michael Bradley, what's up? I watch Stevie Ray Vaughan a lot on YouTube. You watch that Austin City Limits performance? That one's pretty good. That one's famous though. It's not like it's like a bootleg or anything. But they had the Guitar Center in Austin used to have the Lenny guitar on display at Guitar Center, and then downtown at the Capitol they have like this museum kind of thing, and they used to have number one on display there. I don't think I ever made it to see it though, and it was like 10 blocks from my house, which is pathetic. I did see that was the cool thing about Austin is what's his name? Chris, the drummer for Double Trouble. I was in line, or I was at Whole Foods downtown, and I was trying to get some food, like some lunch, off their little buffet bar, which is severely overpriced. But I was hungry, and that was the closest thing because I worked. My shop was downtown, and I swung in there to get some food, and there was a guy down at the end of the salad bar, and I was looking at him. And I was like, "That son of a bitch looks familiar." I kept looking at him. I got my food, walked around the other side of the bar, and I was looking at him. I was like, "No, I know you." I didn't say that, but I was thinking it. Chris Layton, correct. So I got out of Whole Foods, and it hit me. It's like, that was Chris Layton. That was a drummer. That was Stevie Ray Vaughan's drummer. After that, literally saw the dude everywhere. Saw him at the airport. Saw him at Whole Foods. Saw him walking down the streets. I mean, saw him all the time. But yeah, no big deal. No big deal. And nobody's like bothering him, which was odd. You would think somebody would be like, "Oh, Chris Layton, what's up?" But no, he didn't. Nobody's messing with him. TK, you see where LureNet is doing batches of like 300 bandits at a time and doing custom colors? Yeah, Jeremy, they've been doing that with what's his dick? Uh, Uncle Frank. They've done some spooks, and they've done some Uncle Verbal. Yeah, I'm having a hard time today. They've been doing all kinds of little custom runs, trying to tap into the custom market. Anthony, Dennis the Menace is running into Billy Gibbons twice at Costco. That's pretty sweet. I didn't know he was in Vegas. That was a Freudian autocorrect. It seemed strangely fitting. AJ, I guess that's why it was a Freudian slip. But I think I've got. Damn it! I keep seeing these. Now I know why my daughter says "damn it" now. You don't realize the stuff you say until you have a small child that repeats it. All right, now I need my hook. If I can find that damn thing. Good luck. Good luck, me. Ow, 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 ow. I'm falling apart, dudes. Ow. It's crazy how once you run into someone, you notice and see them everywhere you go. His wife has a house a couple miles from our Costco. How about that? Anthony, I was going to get to your save the split rings. Okay. Let me put them in a little baggie. Anthony, I have a tip for you. Tip of the day. I try and maybe I'll so you feel like you get some value, and then I'm just not sitting here talking out of my ass. If you want to suckle a little knowledge from my brain, here it is. If you have a balsa crankbait, like a balsa B2, something of that nature, killer B1, killer B2, square bill, killer B2, killer B3, square bill. Do not put an oval split ring on the front of it. Ask me how I know, because I went through this. Doug, I did not get a new camera. I think my dad's not in there hogging up the internet on like 16 devices. But and Amy, nobody's here, so nobody's jamming up the bandwidth. But back in the day when Lucky Craft, came on and like everybody was wild about Lucky Craft, one thing that they had that was unique to Lucky Craft was they had that oval split ring. And I just thought they were insanely cool looking, and they worked good, but they just seemed to, they looked fancy because they were on Lucky Craft. So I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy 1,000 oval split rings and put them on everything because they make so much sense. Well, I made the mistake of putting them on my wood baits. I won't say all wood baits, but I will say a lot that I tested them on. They ran like total ass, if not wouldn't run at all. So I took them off and I was like, what's wrong with this bait? And it took me a while to figure it out that it was that damn oval split ring. But eventually I changed the rings out, put a round back on it, worked fine, just like it should have. So fast forward to like 8 years later, my buddy Keith shows up and he says, hey, I got a bunch of baits I want you to work on, like a project. I said, all right, what's wrong with them? He said, they don't run. I said, what do you mean they don't run? It was a bunch of Bagleys. And he said, they don't run. See if you can make them run. And I looked at them. Then he brought them in my office and we were sitting here looking at them. I started pulling them out of the package and looking at them. And I was like, I don't have to do shit to these. And he's like, why? I was like, take these stupid oval split rings off. And he's like, nah, that ain't it. I was like, all right, I'll fix every one of them. If you take oval split rings off, put round ones on, go throw them, bring me the ones back that don't run. Guess how many he brought back? Ding, ding, ding. None, because they all ran. But this was like Square Bill, Killer B2s, old brass ones, and Balsa Bs. They did not. They do not like that oval split ring. So keep that in mind. If you've got an oval split ring on something and it's running shitty, try a round one. I'm with you, Kyle. I've never cared for a loop knot. I've seen guys tie them on. If I could figure out some sort of double loop knot, I would tie that, but I don't like loop knots at all. Do I know why they don't run like that? I'm guessing it puts the pull farther away from the center and the head of the bait. Like rather than your line being connected from here and the pull point being here, it's like up another however many millimeters, and it doesn't like that. Or it's got something to do with that shape that it doesn't, the freeness is that it's, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't try and crack the code Mythbuster style. I just knew this one ran like shit. This one runs good, so I left it at that. I'll leave the science to somebody else. Where is my hook? Over here. Uh-huh. Here it is. Frank, I think the oval for the line ties are to keep your knot in place so it doesn't go into the gap on the ring. Frank, here's another really interesting tidbit of information. I'm going to hit you with 2 today, so you're getting double value for tuning in today. And I believe if Tim Maynard was here, he could confirm this. But I was listening to maybe reading an article or listening to an interview with David Wright, the famous Carolina cranker. So I think David Wright fished with Jeff Coble. They were a team over there in North Carolina. One of the most famous crankers of all time. He's up there with Fritz and those bunch. But David Wright, I believe it was David Wright, 90% chance, ties his knots directly in the gap of a split ring. He says that's where the knot is supposed to be tied. I've never done it. I always tied just anywhere but there. But one of the greatest crankers of all time ties his knot in the gap. I've never Epic Eric ties in the gap. Y'all are nuts. Frank ties his knots in the gap. So we've got Lee Sisson says tie in the gap. Well, there you go. Lots of guys tying in the gap. So if you're worried about your knot slipping into the gap, I wouldn't worry. So the moral of the story, who gives a shit? Just tie your knot wherever you want. If it slips in the gap, it's probably right. Tie it on the other side, you're fine. John D says, fuck the gap. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who gives a shit? Hell, tie it to the back of the bait and the hook. Fuck it. Use good split rings and you will have no problems. Yeah, there you go. I typically try to avoid the gap though. Not for any The only reason being is here's my logic, give or take what you want. If I'm looking for a point that there would be potential friction or something that could potentially damage my line, it's going to be at the end of the wire being cut. There shouldn't be any burrs. There shouldn't be any bullshit in the center of the split ring, but there would be a chance that there would be some in the gap that would be closer to my line rubbing on it. So that's why I would try to avoid it, because it's there and you're close to it, but you know, who knows? I have experienced line slipping through braid slipping through a gap in a hook, a flipping hook. Michael said he can't see good enough to tell if it's in the gap or not. Yeah, who cares? Who cares? You're probably gonna. I mean, I don't know. The thing about it is, if you break your line, you're probably not going to blame it on that anyway. You're probably going to blame it on something else. Shitty line, shitty knot, fish getting you hung up, something. Eric likes how the knot seats in the gap. It's like a little cradle for you, Eric. Eric likes the little cradle. I don't like that. I like my safe space on the away from the gap. Uh-oh. I missed a split ring. I'll get a knot close and move the split ring to make sure it doesn't go in the gap. I try not to time the gap, but if it goes in the gap, it goes in the gap. There you go. Decoy egg snap solves that problem. No, Eric. There's only one problem with what you just said. Snap. Snaps are like farts. They can never be trusted. I don't care what country makes them. Damn it, I missed another hook. I mean, a split ring. Uh-oh. I think these are 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10, 11, 12. You sent me 12, so I need to put 2 over here with yours, I think. Put that one. I think. Maybe that one. I don't know. I'm getting these all mixed up, Eric. It's too much. Uncle Frank likes to live on the wild side. If he uses a speed clip, no offense to Uncle Frank, but I bought some of those speed clips like 10 years ago. And I think I straightened one out like within the first 10 minutes. Speed clips equal poo-poo. I mean, somebody telling me to use a speed clip's kind of like somebody telling me to use Vanish. It's the same thing, same concept. Whatever bait you tie onto it vanishes. He's paid to say that. Even if I was paid, I mean, that's asking people to lose baits, which I guess in turn sells more baits, but then they would probably get angry at you. Uh, I bought some 25-pound of Brazex yesterday. I got tired of line failure. Rebel Basser, when you get tired of a Brazex breaking, buy some big game or Ozerline. What did you switch from? What did you have breaking on you? And don't you tell me big game. I don't think the egg snap is that good either. The wire fatigue's pretty quick, and the bend is way too large, causing the bait to move a lot more than it should. The baits are very finicky, don't work. Yeah, it's kind of like tissue paper. Where was I? I keep getting sidetracked on these eyeballs. I do love Strike King eyes because they are really fun to remove. Big game, the most line you'll see in a trash can. No way, dude. I don't know how anybody could talk shit about big game. Stop using big game when I broke off punching in mats. Yeah, I wouldn't use big game punching in mats. Yeah, that's always been my argument with people who don't like big game. Is me and Eric talking about this. Big game does everything that I look for in a line. So I have a bait, I have my rod and reel, and I'm trying to catch a fish. And the line is the contact between the fish or my lure, my rod, and the fish. It's what get the fish in. I need that line to do one thing, not break. It's got stretch, sure. Does it get coily in the winter? Sure. It's got some memory, sure. Does it not break? Yes. Can you tie shitty knots and it still not break? Yes. Is it super abrasion resistant? Yes. Maybe not the best if you're fishing deep, like AJ said. I mean, the only time I feel like it's lacking is deep. But I never had a problem when I was like fishing at Kentucky Lake, like ledge fishing. But I think you have to pay a little more attention to your hook set, and there's not as much forgiveness as when you're shallow because you have to make up for that stretch. But Jeremy, what do you consider better? Bass Pro Mono over Big Game. The only one I would take over not over Big Game, but I would replace Big Game with and I could go fishing and not worry about if my line was going to break is Ozerline. Ozerline is tough as damn nails, dude. I don't trust anything Bass Pro Shops puts out, even if it is a superior product. I don't want to give Bass Pro Shops my money. Because they're dicks. Green Maxima. I did have a spool of Maxima back in the day because I remember all those guys out west would hee haw about Green Maxima. Maxima's a good line. And then I tried the what was that other one that everybody used to talk about? It was another green line. Who made it? McCoy. That's it, Michael. McCoy Mean Green. I remember trying it. It was pretty decent. Not my favorite, but what else? Triple fish. I remember trying that triple fish because I saw somebody's reel one time, and it was I think it might have been O'Neal Williams. Y'all remember O'Neal outside? I think he had a triple fish sponsorship. And I remember seeing his like reel spooled up with that like multicolor stuff on it. I was like, I want my reel to look like that. So I got some of that shit, and it was pretty good. What else have I used? Real popular um, saltwater line down here from Mono was Andy. You don't see it much inshore, like inward in the U.S., but on the coast, Andy was a popular line. It was pretty good. It's tough, but it wasn't as castable. I don't think as big game. Uh, Trying to think any of the tough lines. Not a bad line. What else? I've told y'all the worst I've ever tried was that Sunline Supernatural or whatever that mono is. Andy's huge in Cali for salt. There you go. It's real popular down here too. Um, but what's that other mono that came out back in the day? Used Maxima and Brown. Yeah. O'Neal with the green has exactly what the green egg looks like. Couldn't have picked a better spokesperson. I forgot about him and the green egg. I really liked O'Neal. Andy Backcountry's tough as nails. That's what I'm about, dude. I just want my line to be tough and not break. It's not. I'm not trying to make a damn fashion statement. I don't. Obviously, I just want my shit to not break. When I set the hook, I want to get the damn fish in the boat. The Jeremy, supernatural and big game are not even in the same category, dude. Supernatural shouldn't even be called fishing line. It should be that shit's probably edible because it's so weak. Like I feel like it's so pathetic that like you could eat it like a bowl of noodles and you would probably be fine. You could make up a bowl of supernatural sunline mono ramen and put a little soy sauce in it. And the acidity in the soy sauce would probably break that shitty line down enough that you could digest it and be fine. Supernatural. Mostly I fish braid leader. Michael, that's what my buddy Keith does. He fishes braid with he uses a fluoro leader, but he's big on the leaders. I don't like leaders, but he does pretty good with it. Mono, advanced red label, fluoro, or copoly gamma. I would use gamma. Gamma's great. Gamma's got enough stretch that I don't mind it, and I feel like that enough. It's got enough stretch, or there's something in their formula that doesn't burn knots, and you don't have to be like as anal. I don't think with knots. Um, and I think that's my biggest thing with gammas. Gamma can take a shock. Um, that's always been my issue with fluorocarbon is fluorocarbon never took shock well. Um, South Jersey does braid to leader for everything, even cranking. Do any of you guys use leader fluorocarbon? Not just regular like bulk spool fluorocarbon? Do you buy the specific fluorocarbon made for leaders? Because they sell that around here a lot for South Jersey said it's a scam. They sell it a lot down here in the to appeal to the saltwater regime. South Jersey says it's a scam. I think fluorocarbon's a scam, so we can agree on that. We can agree that it's a scam all around. Saltwater guys will laugh at you if you're using that. How would they know? Unless you pulled out your little spool. Dennis the Menace will not buy leader material. Okay, so that stuff's out. Frank does. Daiwa. It's stiffer and more abrasion resistance in spite of what Hellabass, Matthew, and others say. Frank, I would probably have to feel like there's some truth to that. I mean, I really don't feel like they would be putting a more manageable line into a leader material. So it's probably. Hey, Marty, I didn't have time to do them. You can thank Epic Eric for that. Frank, I don't know. You're the minority, but I'm not I'm not I'm not so sure you're the crazy one here. I think for a leader material it might be, like you said. I don't know that it's not what you say it is. Flame his ass, Burns. Let's see. There's a saltwater guy down here that promoted that shit. Then he lost his line sponsor and started telling everybody mono leader. There you go. Call me crazy, but I've heard a lot more pros in interviews saying that they use mono for certain applications, and it's seemingly more and more becoming more and more prevalent that everything is not 100% fluoro like the old days. Like as soon as fluoro came out, everybody's like, "Oh, I use fluoro for everything, except the top water or whatever." And now it seems like people are maybe starting to turn around and say, "You know what? Mono's not so bad. Mono's not the evil redheaded stepchild that it was made to think it was." Frank, all I'm here to say is that if it works for you, who gives a shit? That's my motto. If you don't break fish off and you get them in the boat, hey. All I know is whenever I'm fishing with people that use fluorocarbon and they're all the time going, "Damn, broke him off." or you're watching a show and somebody breaks a fish off. It's like, why do you keep putting yourself through this? Michael, when I think I got my, I was probably 12. I was up at this tournament up at Live Oak Landing, and it was the American Lung Association bass tournament, and my mom's friend, Miss Kathy, was putting it on, and we were up there helping, and I wasn't helping. I was just, you know, being a dickhead hanging around the fishing tournament with my mom while my mom was like working. And so Miss Kathy, who was running the tournament, she said, at Live Oak Landing, there's this little pond up from the boat ramp that, it's got some fish in it, but people go up there and fish in this little pond. It's probably insanely pressured because it's like, you don't have to have a boat to fish it, and you don't have to fish in the river. You can fish in this little pond, and I think they might have charged to fish in it or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, I was up there and I was like dicking around, and Miss Kathy asked me, she was like, "You wanna go fish in that pond?" I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" And she said, She had her husband rod and reel in the boat. I mean, in her car, and I said, "Ooh." She said, "Yeah, go get it." I said, "All right." So I went and got it, and it was, and she gave me this little goodie bag of baits that sponsors had sent in, and that was the first time I got a Stanley wedge spinnerbait, fiber shaft, the whole 9 yards. So, and this thing had friggin' surfboards for blades, dude, and they were painted. They had like yellow, lime green tiger stripes going down the blades. And so I dug around in this little freebie bag, and got me out some stuff to fish with. That was my tackle box for the day. Well, I went in there and got the rod and reel. And the rod and reel was at the time, this would have been like 98, 99. The rod and reel was a All-Star. I think it was a WRI All-Star with a silver Shimano Calcutta. I guess that was the 200B or whatever it was. It wasn't the 100, it was the 200 size, I believe. It might have been the 100. I don't remember. But it was a silver Calcutta. And I remember it was spooled with 12-pound Stren clear blue fluorescent. And I remember casting my line out there with this immaculate feeling combo, because at the time I was using Ambassador 5500s and like bullshit rods. Like I'd never used like a good reel. So I throw this Calcutta out there and it's like butter. And it looks like I'm casting a fucking lightsaber. When that blue line hits the light and it's going across the lake and I'm watching it, like I saw that and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like, no telling if a fish, it scared them off or not, but clear blue Stren is badass to look at. So as a 12-year-old, I saw that and I was like, I've got to have this combo, and I got to have clear blue Stren on everything. So from that day forward, like for like 5 years, all I ever used was clear blue Stren, just because it looked awesome. And Frank, you need to invest in some titanium wire shit. Honestly, longer than 4 Jeremy, I saw your dad have with Calcuttas and All Stars. Oh, Jeremy, all your dad had was the clear blue or the combos. Dustin Taylor still got clear blue strand in his boat. That shit was tough, dude. Later, Burnsy. It was tough. Damn, it's 4 o'clock already. Thank you, Michael. But I got a little older and I got in college and I felt like I had outgrown clear blue strand. So I think that's when I moved to big game because it was more robust and like manly. I left the childish fluorescence in the rearview mirror once I got my driver's license. But my fishing partner Jody, when we started fishing these tournaments, he was the one that got me into tournament fishing. We used to fish Lake Tuscaloosa, and I switched from the clear blue strand because I thought it was, I was getting real hoity-toity. I thought the fish could see it, and dude used to use 17-pound clear blue strand at Lake Tuscaloosa, and Lake Tuscaloosa's got like 6-7 foot of visibility. It's like deep clear, like it's clear. And that son of a bitch would take that 17-pound clear blue and just fling it out there with a worm or like a shaky head or something. Jack their ass. And I was like, I guess it doesn't matter. Because like that thought never went through his mind. You know what I mean? That like that line might be costing him bites. Like he didn't care. And he I think if you care, like the fish can tell. But if you don't care, they don't know the difference. My dad will not pay no more than 150 to 175 for bass rod fishing and no more than 150 for a reel, but he drops 800 plus on a fly rod. Yeah, but you only got one fly rod, right? Or 2 or 3. Like you don't have many. Seaguar Abrazex Musky Leader coil line costs $51 for 25 yards. I don't know. I'd like to talk to somebody. I'd like to talk to somebody that knew leaders. Maybe for fish with teeth, it matters. Silly little bass, it's not worth it. Or if you're bottom fishing and you're losing 1,000,000 liters a day, wouldn't make sense for that either. But if you have a low volume leader turnover and you want the toughest possible without toothless fish that are shredding your leader, might be a good option. 14 fly rod setups? What? That's a lot, dude. I didn't know fly dudes carried that many combos. That's a pile. I've used fluorescent green big game in a spring fed lake and caught fish, no lie. John? I don't know. I don't know, dude. Somebody explain that to me. Are you did you cost yourself bites that day? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it got you bites. I don't know. I don't know. What we need is an ex line manufacturer employee that's a little bitter about their company they worked for to say, yes, I can confirm I worked for Seagar. Uh, braid leader material, fluoro leader material is a hoax. But I don't know who that person might be. Calling all disgruntled line manufacturer employees. Come set us straight. Jeremy, I'm in that. Kyle, I'm kind of like your dad. Um, I'm not. I used to just buy Calcuttas and I'd buy Corrados and Powells. That was about as expensive as I would ever want to get for a rod and reel. Um, like the under 7 foot Powells at the time were like 130, and the 7 foot or higher were like 169 or something. CXX is the toughest monofillet. I've heard other people say the CXX is good. I'll tell you what P-line not to try is the Fluoro Clear. It's fluoro coated. After my experience with fluorocarbon, I thought, oh, well, maybe I can get the best of both worlds with a mono that's fluorocarbon coated. Dude, that stuff is real trashy. I think I broke off the first 3 pitches I made with it. I was pitching a tube with it, and it felt real good. And I broke 3 knots on 3 hook sets. I said, nah, not for me. It didn't like that. It didn't like that jolt. People talk about that old Berkeley used to make a cranking line for Fritz that Fritz used to hawk. That stuff was supposedly pretty good. Fluoro Clear is trash. What we need is Mythbusters Fishing Channel on YouTube. Yep. That would be pretty cool. Product manufacturers probably wouldn't like it, but you could certainly debunk some myths. That Applaud GTR Ultra Nylon line has just as much abrasion resistance as like a Brazex, but in a mono style line that's super strong for its size and really thin. Didn't like Fluoro Clear or P-line braid. No issues with CXX. I don't trust anything Scott Martin promotes. I like the guy, but he markets anything. And what line does Scott Martin use? I don't know about y'all, but if you watch a Scott Martin video, I feel like literally every time he reaches into his box to get a worm, it's a Zoom plastic. And if you watch any of his videos, he must just think people are retarded, like stupid, because he shows, like, I remember when the Guggen crankbait first came out. It was one of those I think it was the Pickwick tournament. He was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be deep cranking some." He's like, "This new Guggen whatever deep diver is gonna be, it's gonna be a player here." Well, he pulls one out, and he's like, "This is gonna work really good." It was obviously like out of the package, never been thrown, didn't have a scratch on it, and he's like, "This one's really good." And then the way he promoted it was like, he's like, "Yeah, it's got a good rattle. Look at that color." It's like that was all he could promote it. And then he went out there and was fishing actual fishing footage, and he was throwing like he had like 3 Strike Kings tied on. And I think they showed his deck, and I didn't see one Guggen crankbait. I was like, does he really think nobody notices this? John D says, out of all the pros I've met, he was the biggest prick. I could see that. I've heard he's nice if he needs something from you. But I have my personal vendetta against his dad, so uh, I'm not a Roland fan at all. Fan. But I've never met Scott. Never met Scott. I'm trying to think any other. Have y'all ever met any pros that like? Who's your favorite pro that you've met? I'm trying to think. Favorite pro that I've actually met. I don't know that I've ever met any real pros. Met Cliff Pace. You can imagine how that conversation went. Uh, some other dude. Oh yeah, it was what's his name? Dave Wolak. He was awesome. Um, Gerald was the best. I could see that. Um, met Roland in 1983, the year I was born. Um, Brennan wants to know, what do you and Roland have going? Well, Brennan, if you must know, if you fast rewind back to the 99 Bassmaster Classic in New Orleans, Louisiana, I went as a naive, insanely passionate young bass angler. Uh, and I showed up with my hat and all my little photographs and like baseball cards and other bullshit little memorabilia that you get at the classic. And I went out and sought out all of my favorite TV personality legends autographs. So I got Brower. He was the one. He was like, I worshipped Brower. So Brower was cool, and I met Brower like after the tournament. Like he was, they had like a table set up where like the guys that had been fishing would come in and sign autographs. He was super nice. But anyway, when we were walking around the expo, Roland was at like the Mercury booth or whatever. Jose Wahibe, the Spanish fly guy that passed away, insanely personable, humble, like awesome dude. He was probably one of the nicest, like genuine fishing dudes that I met at that event. Jose, rest in peace. You were the shit. But So we see Roland over there at the Mercury booth. I'm like, all right, let's go get uh, Son's autograph. So I go over there. Line's a mile long, and the whole time we're there, Roland's got this damn brick for a cell phone. This is 99, dude. Like cell phones aren't small. Um, and he was over there signing autographs, talking on the phone, just shoveling people through, not even looking at them, just talking on the phone, grabbing the card, not saying hello. He was just reaching, grabbing, here, get out of the fucking way. He wasn't saying that, but that was his attitude. So we were just standing there. He was shoveling people through, signing autographs. We were like 5 or 6 back in line. It's about time to meet Roland. He just signs an autograph, hands it to him, flips his phone, leaves. Doesn't say anything. Doesn't say, "Hey, I'll be right back." Hey, this is the end of the autograph signing session. This is. He doesn't say anything to anybody. He just leaves, and everybody's sitting around going, "Where'd that prick just go? Do we stay here? Do we leave? Do we? What do we do?" And I think he had like a handler there, and he just fucking left. Not, and it's not like he was being personable to begin with. Like there were other people that were like pissed because I remember like my dad talking to this other kid's dad or something, and they were like, "This prick couldn't get off the damn phone to sign an autograph and like meet his fans." He was like, "Yeah, fuck that guy." And um, yeah, it was very impersonal, and he was just a prick. So um, from that day forward, every time his theme song came on the TV and my mother heard it, she would say, "Roland Martin, you prick." My whole family couldn't stand him because of what he did to all the like fans that day. Um, but Anthony Gagliardi, I could see that. He seems like a salt of the earth guy. Dave Woolak did fall off the map. Um, I want to ask him how good 1-3 Ron versus this. How about Ron's for 1-3 Real versus Shimano? Yeah, Kyle, I don't even want to say that. Yeah, same 20 years. Seth George, still talking about Lon? Wahibe. Getting close to that number one here. TK. Keeping it real fishing coming on the channel soon. Is in the works. Should be good. That sounds fun. I can see Denny Broward just kicking back with Bud Heavy and just shoot the shit. I think that's Anthony. I've never met. I never met Brower. I had the opportunity at the Houston airport. And I crumbled. I saw him sitting there, and like Amy was with me, and I looked, and he was like sitting there, like playing on his phone or reading a newspaper or a magazine or something. Or I don't think he was reading a book. He was doing something, or maybe he was just chilling. And it was like I just looked at Medusa and like got turned to stone. Like I saw him, and I was like, Amy, and I kept like looking back, and Amy was like, "What are you looking at?" I was like, "Dude, that's Denny Brown." And she's like, "Who?" I was like, "Who?" It's like the King, dude. I was like, "This is Denny Brower." And she's like, "What does he do?" I was like, "What does he do? He's a pro bass fisherman. I wrote a English paper on him in ninth grade. Like it's my like class project." She's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yes." I was like, "I idolize that dude." And she's like, "Go talk to him." I was like, "I can't." And she's like, "Why?" was like, they say never meet your heroes. I was like, I don't want him to ruin it. She was like, go talk to him. You need to go talk to him. And I was like, he looks peaceful. And if you've ever watched Brower confrontation on the water, I don't want him to bring down the thunder on me, trying to like shoot the shit out of him, shoot the shit with him at the airport. Uh, so I opted out of talking to Brower at the airport. Looking back, I definitely should have encroached on his privacy, but I didn't. I've seen Palaniuk stay late to talk to disabled audience at weigh-ins. That's very nice. Good for Palaniuk. I've talked to him a few times. Seems like a cool dude. I could see that. I went up to Roland after a weigh-in and tried getting his autograph, and he said, "I don't have time to sign your hat. I'm leaving." Jumped in his truck and kept going. Jeremy, I think we can all agree that that prick certainly had time to sign your hat. It literally takes less than 10 seconds. Uh, I've talked to Brandon Palaniuk on the phone. He was super nice and really cool to talk to. I rolled up on the Aussie Carl at a gas station, and he was the coolest dude. Let me look at his setups and everything. That's pretty sweet. I remember seeing pros on the road back in the day. It was really exciting. Like when I lived in Tuscaloosa, you'd always see them up there because they'd be going to Birmingham from out west, and they'd come down. What is it? 459 or whatever it is. Whatever that road that goes through Mississippi into Alabama towards Birmingham. They'd always be coming down that road. Later, Anthony. Yeah, I met Jimmy Houston. Jimmy is exactly what you would think he would be. Super nice, super. He's very Jimmy Houston. He's cackling, but he knows that. He knows when people meet him, they want the laugh, they want the hair, they want the cutting up. You like when you meet Jimmy Houston, you get Jimmy Houston. And I think that is admirable that after all these years of meeting people, uh, Jimmy Houston is still Jimmy Houston. Met Hank that year. Hank was super nice. Met Bill Dance. Sat on Bill Dance's lap. I will never forget that day because we were standing in line, and I'm probably at that age I was maybe 12, 13, and I walked up and it was my turn to meet Bill Dance. He was at the Pennzoil thing. And I went to see Bill, and it was my turn. And he looked at me like you're like sitting in line to see Santa Claus. And he said, "Come over here, my boy." And I was like, "Okay." And he like slapped his leg. I was like, "Give me sit on your leg." I was like, "I'm like 200 pounds." And he was like, "Nah, you'll be fine." I was like, "All right." He's like, "All right, smile." So we smiled for the picture and whatever. And he signed my hat, and dude, it was awesome. But there's a reason Bill Dance, Jimmy Houston are loved more than Roland. Yeah, for sure. Uh, Michael, what's creepy? I say something creepy. Fish. I can see Fish Fishburne being the very Fish Fishburne. Who else? I'm trying to think of any of those like superhero guys from the '90s. Uh, No, it wasn't creepy. It's only creepy in fucking cancel culture. It's only creepy now. If he'd invited me over to his house to Neverland Ranch after that, that might have been creepy. Uh, Maybe you need to come over later and fish in my pond. I got real big bass. Show you his wacky worm. I got real big bass in my pond. Maybe you should come over later. Met Lonnie Stanley. My dad and him talked to. My dad talked to Lonnie Stanley about their lineage forever. Who else was there? I think I've got a picture with Hank Parker. I need to bring that photo album here. Uh, there's a guy from here is friends with Denny. The way he met him is he got a Camden, Missouri phone book, so he called him. Oh, back in the good old days where you could just look somebody up in the phone book. Wonder how that worked out. Hello? Is this Denny Brower? Yeah. Uh, hey, this is Steve. What's up, Steve? What can I help you with? Nothing. I just want to talk fishing. I got your phone number out of the phone book. Didn't even think about that back in the day. Yeah, I had a question. What size jig would you be fishing this weekend if you had a tournament on Lake of the Ozarks? And what color? They talked for a while and are friends to this day. I feel like you hear more stories about like that. I guess, I guess, I guess you hear stories about guys now that are like, "Oh, I'm friends with so and so." You know, we met through like DMs or whatever on Instagram or something. Uh, I guess DMs are the modern day phone book, where you don't have to know anybody, or you don't, you know what I mean? Like uh, you can just call somebody out of the blue. It would be, just DMing somebody out of the wild. Uh, I would like to make my way down to Brower Land. I don't like Brower as a Texan though. Like I liked him as a Missourian because that kind of fit his like. That was just how I knew him. Seeing him down there, seeing him down there on like Amistad or Falcon or wherever he lives, it just doesn't look right. Um, Grizzly, I did not get a topwater popper swimmer. Did not. I have zero need for that. That would have been a waste of $200. Cool bait though. Cool bait. Not for me though. Uh, Who the house landline this? Who has a house land? My parents still have a house landline because it's connected to their alarm system. They can't have their alarm system without a landline. Funny you mentioned that, Kyle, because I was talking to my nephew over Christmas, and I was he's like getting into girls or whatever. He's like 13 now, and he's talking about this girl that liked him at school. And I was like, "What you gonna like call her?" He's like, "Do what?" I was like, "You gonna call her on the phone?" He's like, "I don't know, maybe." I was like, "Listen, dude, you've got it easy. You have a friggin' cell phone, and you can call her cell phone. Imagine in my day, I would have to call the landline at the parents' house, and I had to go through them. So, you call the chick's house, and if she doesn't answer, you got to go through the damn parental wall, you know, and God forbid dad answers. You hope you get mom. Mom, you can, hey, and she's like, oh, this is sweet. Dad, hey, can I talk to, you know, Michelle? It's like, who the fuck is this? TK, what do you want? Nothing. I'm just in class with your daughter and had some questions about homework. Why don't you call one of your other buddies? Because your daughter's really smart, and I'm. Uh, can I just talk to your daughter, please? uh, but yeah, kids now got it easy. They got it easy. Mickey Mouse rotary phone. That's nice. Dude, I mean, I don't want to be a block it, but I mean, those were better times, dude. Simpler times. You sit down, you didn't have to deal with any bullshit. Their character. I think that's what it was. Is that like everything pre cell phone was like I feel like more character building. Talking about spooks, the Mystic spooks. Yeah, I got one of the Mystic. Where is it? I had something over there in the Mystic series. Where? Oh, it's on that. There it is. This is the Mystic Minnow. I'm glad I didn't have a cell phone in high school. No shit. Yeah, there's the Mystic paint jobs. They're really pretty. Beautiful. Uh, you had to build up that confidence to take the risk on Chicks' dad answering the phone when you called it. Exactly. Yeah, you had to like sit there and like pump yourself up, dude. You're like, all right, when they ask for what I'm gonna say. You had to like write. It's like you were a salesman. You had to write out your script and like psych yourself up for it. It's like, please, mom, answer. Please, mom, answer. And I won't get the joy of that. You know what I mean? Somebody calling my daughter and be like, "Can I talk to the bean?" Like, fuck no. Who is this? What do you want? And like, put them through the ringer. Make them earn it. Call while dad is at work. You sending notes in class saying, "Is your dad on night shifts this week?" She's like, "Yeah, he goes to work at 5." I'm like, sweet. I'll call you at 6. Weren't the cell phones like Zach Morris Saved by the Bell when you were in high school? They were. No, actually, my first cell phone was a bag phone that you plugged up to the cigarette lighter. After that, it was a flip phone, but it was pretty much a brick. It was a brick, but at the bottom part flipped down. Um, I got along very well with all the parents of my girlfriends. Finally meet the one, and her parents hate me. There you go. Yeah, dude. Not to mention all the time spent like trying to get up the nerve, and then just completely like freezing up when they answer the phone. Like you're like, all right, I'm gonna call. And you call, hello. You're like, you just hang up. Did you call me last night? No, I was busy, dude. I was busy working out. Like, oh, really? Yeah, yeah. No, I was on the phone all night. My girlfriend. The kid don't know anything about Bassmasters or baits. His ass is going to the boot. Yeah, I would. Not home. She's not gone from my dad. You know, she's home. That's right. My in-laws do, as far as I know. Just kidding. Probably bring this kid to fish off rights. That's what I should have done if I was smart. When the dad answered the phone, be like, "Hey, uh, Mr. So and So." And down here, you'd probably have pretty good probability. I'd be like, "Hey, is Michelle home?" Be like, "Yeah." One second. Hey, before you get off, before you grab her, you're not into bass fishing, are you? You'd be like, "Yeah, I rip a few lips." Oh yeah. What's your favorite bait? I guess. I mean, that's like that's the pitch, right? Back in the day, we'd use smoke signals with the whole Terry cord could read them. Oh, Rich, you didn't have to. You didn't have to send smoke signals. You might have had to. You might have had to put some a quill pen to some parchment, and then have a bird deliver it. But I think you were post smoke signal. A quill and ink in your calligraphy handwriting. Dear fair maiden, wouldst thou goeth to the prom with thyself, thine mine self? Sign, Rich. Cannon string for the smoke signal guy. Uh, Kids aren't going to know what George Strait is talking about. Check yes or no. That's true. Check yes or no. Y'all remember those little things you build in class that would like made of paper, and you like have questions on it. You flip them over. And call me later. Sure. You talk to the moon on a bag phone. Yeah, those damn bag phones are the shit. My dearest Janice. Is that an archaic name, Janice? I'm trying to think what an old school name is. Who remembers not answering the phone till 9 p.m. when it turned free time? Yeah, that was Agnes. My dearest Agnes. Patty, my sweet patty cake. Please allow me to court thy 10 cents to text. What a fucking ripoff. What a ripoff. Yeah, Blanche, the damn golden girl. Uh, Patty, that is a pretty old school name. I like Patty. I don't know. Has anybody been to Gunnersville lately? Speaking of Patties and Blanches, the first time I ever went to Gunnersville, uh, I went and we stayed at the Best Western right there at Spring Creek or whatever it is, Holiday Inn. I think it's a Holiday Inn. Um, and we went to get breakfast the next morning before we went fishing. And we went to the McDonald's, and the McDonald's was run and operated by nothing but Patties and Bethels and Blanches and Margarets and like any other like classic like everybody that worked in there was like a sweet old granny. It was awesome. I never had a beeper. I had one. I had one for like a day. Oh, dude, the Nextel Touch to Talk. You were getting all the girls if you had the Touch to Talk. Hit me up on my Nextel. McMeemaws. That's pretty much what it was, dude. I don't know if the same that generation of server at McDonald's has to have died out, but oh no. Can you still hear me, Instagram? Oh shit. I think Insta just got blasted. Amy's still calling. She hasn't figured it out yet. She's still calling. Cancel. Cancel the mic. Better? Did I save Insta? Um, but yeah, McNemal's in Gunnersville. I'd like to hear a report on what the Meemaws are still in there. The McDonald's in Rockport, Missouri is the same way. Now you better be able to throw hands if you want to ask for extra barbecue sauce. Now, can I get some extra sauce? No. Okay. Okay. Can I get some napkins? We out. You got a napkins? Yeah. Okay. Can I get a cup of water? Nope. Out of that too. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your incredible service. Uh, What's another? I feel like there was. Did y'all? Did anybody else go through the origami phase? What was your worst phone you ever had, TK, and your best? My worst phone? Hmm. I really liked. Probably my favorite phone was my BlackBerry, uh, because you had BBM. All the girls had the BBM, BlackBerry Messenger. Uh, but paper airplanes, as far as I got into it. Yeah, I didn't get too far. I could build some stuff, but I had an origami book and I could build like certain shapes and stuff, but I never like there was always those kids that took it way to the extreme and they'd build you like a damn bird or whatever. Um, I had a little gray Nokia that was kind of slim and tall, and it had Snake pre-programmed on it. Um, that was an incredible phone. Um, And I actually still have it at my fishing camp for when times are tough and I'm bored and I need to play Snake. If there's a gas station here in my town that's got an 80-year-old woman that works the weekend and makes all the breakfast food, all done by hand. Jeremy, those are crown jewels of local communities, dude. I wish everybody. That's one thing that pisses me off about down here. Um, like where I live, like North Mobile County. Uh, Doug, you can, like the shit you're going to, like if you're trying to go to Stockton, or if you're going to like Dead Lake or anywhere up there. From me, I can stop at the Chevron in Satsuma and get breakfast. They open at like 3:30 a and start making breakfast, and their breakfast is legit. Like their biscuits suck, but their food's good you know for what you get. Um, but like if you're going to the Causeway, there's nothing. There's nowhere to stop and get food or ice or anything. Um, Everything's closed down here. Oh, Tyler, that's my favorite, dude. I love walking outside of it, like walking into a gas station and then coming out and smelling like cigarettes and fried grease, like just like oil, a fry basket, and a Marlboro. Walk out smelling like a camel and a 9-hour-old fried egg roll. Brennan, yes, we eat at a Chevron. Gross stuff. Take take your elitist attitude and try some gas station food, dude. I don't know about Georgia, but Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, all has very quality gas station food. If you are ever in Southwest Louisiana, you better stop in for a Cajun Fast Mart sandwich. There you go. Brennan said he gets food poisoning from gas station food. I don't know. I've always had good luck with gas station food. Um, like go to the best stop in over there in what's that town in Louisiana? Uh, what's the exit? It's got Best Mart and Dan's. Come on, Tyler, help me out here. I mean, if you drove by the best stop, you would think it was a dump. Um, Scott, yeah, Scott, Louisiana. The Scott exit. I forget which one it is, like 22 or something. But yeah, you pull up to the best stop. The best stop looks like a dump, but the best stop is the damn fire. I'm pro best stop. I'm not. I'm not. I'm. They're my. They reign supreme in the Boudin market when it comes to the Scott exit. Toughen up, Brennan, for real, dude. You need to start. Uh, you need to go hang out with Tyler Castile for a little while over there in Louisiana. Michael said, "I'm in New York. If you eat at a gas station, you're rolling the dice." Man, that's a shame, dude. Uh, Wawa is pretty good station food. The soups are great. So is um, I literally drive an hour round trip to a gas station for donuts. Speaking of donuts, I watched I watched that Yngwie Malmsteen video where he says, "I don't like donuts. I don't like donuts." Food poisoning from gas stations. You have a weak stomach. You'll never make it in the Gulf states. Tyler said, Brennan, he can definitely get your cholesterol numbers up. He can spike them. Don't eat gas station sushi. I don't think I think I'd pass on the gas station sushi. Are the Waterwood cranks any good? I think they're good enough. I think they're. I don't know. Not. I mean, what does good mean? I don't. I don't. I don't think. Kyle, you like Billy's? See, I didn't like the pepper jack stuffed boudin balls. It was too weird. I didn't. I couldn't get into it when all that started. Are they worth the money? Good? No, I don't think so. I mean, they're kind of pretty, but I've talked about them before. Dennis the Menace. Yeah, Burns. I'm trying to get these damn pieces of shit sanded. Um, AJ got food poisoning from Top of the River. Top of the River is pretty legit. It's pretty decent food. Place is a monster establishment. What do you think it was? Do you think it was the fish, AJ? What do you think gave you food poisoning? Tyler Brennan said, "I guess he just does not handle food that's 90% Pennzoil grease and 1% pork brain." Is that a shot at our gas station delicacies down here? Uh, what are we? You didn't like the food, AJ? I had. I got everything. Like I just had like I think I had uh, chicken fingers and like fried pickles or something, and it was good. Um, it wasn't great, but must be a Yankee. Kunesses thrive on gas station cuisine. Tyler, how do I get an honorary Kunas card? Do people give those away in Louisiana? Hardee's or gas station breakfast is all about. I got 3 or 4. Hardee's gas station is legit. Big M says best po' boys come from gas stations. I missed a day fishing because I was puking my guts out. It was better going down. Well, that sucks. That is unfortunate. I've only eaten there once. We usually go to Crawl Mama's. All right, I got 2 more of these losers to do. And then I'm gonna jet. Get out of here. Was that tourney time, AJ, or were you fun fishing? You can get the registered Kunas hats and stuff at gas stations. Would that qualify me? I don't think Kunas wear Kunas hats, do they? I just want to be knighted by a Kunas. Where does that go down? Darius, what's up? All this sand and dust got my nose running. Does anybody own Dude Wipes? Marty, that's because you know what's up, dude. What exactly is a Kunas? Great question. I would say a Kunas is a local. I don't know if a Kunas would have to be us. Maybe they would. South Louisiana, not necessarily a swamp inhibitor. Uh, um, but somewhere thereabouts. Uh, Pierre Park, Louisiana, is where I would go to get knighted. Uh, Joey, I did. My friggin' it's a Southern Louisiana thing. I think a Kunas is just an all encompassing individual that uh, you know knows all the kind of old school ways, but also I don't know what the perfect definition of a Kunas is, because I think there's more to Kunas than just like uh, the Bayou Reeboks, the white rubber boots. Those are a staple. Uh, you can certainly assume somebody might have been called a Kunas. All right. It's a lifestyle to me. I think that's that's a good definition, Kyle. It's a uh, but they're but they're I don't know. They're like well versed into everything, the culture, like new culture, old culture, like the old ways of doing stuff, new ways of doing stuff, like partying, uh, like history. They like Akunas is a very interesting individual. I think it kind of can be used at times in jest in like a derogatory term, but I think that a Kunas, if you're called a Kunas, I think you could have great pride in being called that. Maybe not. Like somebody called me a Kunas, I wouldn't be offended if I were. I don't know if I think they do take pride in it though. I don't know. I don't live in Kunas country. Jeremy, that's what I think I'm going with. I think I'm trading in the Grundens. It's a term of endearment. Yeah, I remember hearing it growing up and thinking it was like a bad word. Um, the I think I'm trading in the Grundens on or I already have traded them in. I gave them to my dad. He liked them because he was looking for a pair of boots to wear at the boat ramp, so when the tide was up and his feet didn't get wet. And I said, I've got just the thing for you. So I think I'm going with the. I'm just going to get another pair of mucks. Jeremy, Tyler, maybe you can help this man out. He says, or Kyle. Jeremy has two things on his bucket list: go to Louisiana and spear a hog from an airboat, and hog hunt with dogs. Jeremy, you can come here and hog hunt with dogs all you want, dude. South Jersey, I have seen the extra toughs. The problem with the extra toughs for me is that everybody over 96 inches tall wears them, and I'm so tired of like, you know how when you see those stickers on people's car, that's like the stick figures with like the dad, the mom, uh, the two kids, and the dog. Like you see that sticker on a car, the mom, dad, and the kids all jump out. They're all wearing extra toughs. Like even the dogs got extra toughs on. Like fucking everybody wears them, and I just can't get into it. And I've had people tell me that theirs didn't hold up that well. So um, I feel like the extra tough of yesteryear that was strictly like a deckhand boot, that they were better than what they're pumping out now. Uh, what didn't I like about the Grundens, AJ? I didn't like that. I didn't like the fit on the top of your foot from here, this part. And I didn't like how wide the opening was to put your foot in. They were kind of a pain in the ass for me to put on. Like I had to pull really hard to get those boots on. Um, and for what they were, I wasn't trying to damn. And I knew as hard as I had to pull to get them on, and once I got them on, they fit fine. Like they weren't too small. But as hard as I had to pull to get them on, I knew I was going to rip the tag off the back like in a month. So like my mucks, I can slip on. I can just stick my foot in them, and uh, and I don't have to pull them. But those I had to pull. Tyler says you got to pull. So it wasn't just my foot; it's just the nature of them. Um, the other thing I didn't like about them is typically when I'm wearing rubber boots, I like the wide neck on the bottom because my pants will gather on them and keep my pants out of the water. So if I'm wearing rubber boots, typically it's because it's watery, raining, water under my feet, water puddles, boat ramp, something is going to involve my feet having contact with water. Um, the Grundens my had such a narrow hole that your foot went in. My pants would fall over. My pants would go over the top of them, so they would, your pants would get wet. Or you could like tuck them in, and then it just looks stupid. But like my mucks, my pants will just gather on the top of the boot, and I don't have to like tuck them in and look like a dick, or my pants don't go over the top of them usually. That's what you liked about them. Interesting. Well, there you go. Kyle, did I tell you my buddy Keith and his son Huntley set the state record for GAR in the state of Alabama a couple weeks ago? 164 pounds. A rod and reel. Caught it on fluorocarbon and a jackhammer. I'll eat GAR. I love eating weird shit like that. I've never had anybody steer me wrong. Like if somebody knows how to cook GAR and they tell you it's good, it's probably good. We have literally the opposite preferences when it comes to fit on those boots. There you go. So whenever I need to go shoe shopping, I'll just call AJ and say, "Hey, dude, what's your least favorite pair of rubber boots?" Perfect. I'll go buy those. I also like them to be slip on. You know what I mean? Like I just want to like rubber boots to me, even like 8 inch, 8 inch rubber boots, like or 10 or like knee boots. You can like if you're good, you can typically just put your foot straight down in them. You don't have to like pull that hard. Um, I would have told you muck. There you go. But like my mucks, when I get up and I put my pants on, I can just step into the mucks and I like wiggle my foot like a couple times and it's in. Those damn Grundens, dude. It was like I had to like I was like blowing my damn back out trying to pull those things on. Well, Josh, tell me what else I can slip on and my lazy ass doesn't have to pull and get a hernia trying to get my damn boots on. Mucks I can slip on. And I had a pair last me since high school. I haven't found the perfect boot yet. I don't know if it's made. The perfect rubber boot. Maybe that's why I need to quit dicking with fishing lures and just make the perfect rubber boot. And put a drawstring on it so AJ can tighten it up around his ankles. Lacrosse. Like the ones that look like bean boots, like LL Bean boot. I used to have those, but you'd bust your ass wearing those. Gator waders are even tighter. Are you nuts? No such thing as the perfect anything. I think you're onto something there, Burns. There's no such thing as the perfect anything. I gotta go buy tape tomorrow. What is Mend It made out of? I don't know. Josh probably knows. Oh, see, Josh, that's the problem. If Hook makes decent ones, I would just feel like a total douche wearing them. I want both style of mugs to the knee and to the ankle. If muck boots work, go get another pair. They did work. They're just ugly. And you would think in 10 years there would be something else that would be a little more appealing. But anyway, all right. I got all my bait sanded. I'll be back tomorrow. Y'all be good. Have a good rest of your Sunday, fun day. Thanks for sticking around, shooting the shit for 2 hours and 15 minutes and 45 seconds. Catch y'all next time. Later, dudes.